This is going to be great television, I will say that.
Zelensky. Zelensky got skied out of the White House. Ski.
All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal.
It's JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
Can you feel the vibe?
Oh, JEJE.
It's JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to JEJE Vibe.
We're back.
You know I got the amazing queen with me.
Thanks, my love.
Today we're going to be talking about
Zelensky. Zelensky got skied out of the White House. Ski.
The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh?
I was like, choo, out of here. ASAP.
Following all that drama, the president of Ukraine was ordered to leave the White House and a much-anticipated minerals deal was not signed. The US president later said President Zelensky could return when he was ready for peace.
This has been part of Trump's campaign goals to end the war.
We are all tired of it.
Between Russia and Ukraine.
It's affecting everyone's lives globally.
3 years now. 3 years now, and this war is still ongoing. Trump is saying he wants peace. Let the war come to an end.
Monday marks the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and the stakes to bring the conflict to an end are high, U.S. President Donald Trump stressed once more when addressing the Conservative Political Action Conference on Saturday.
But it's got to end. It's a horrible, horrible thing to watch. I'm dealing with President Zelenskyy. I'm dealing with President Putin.
So there's been talk about a deal because of the amount of money the Biden administration has I would say invested.
Poured into the war.
Poured into the war. $350 billion. Big money.
Trump also referenced a deal in the works that would grant the U.S. rights to access Ukrainian natural resources in return for the military aid America has given to Kyiv to fight the war.
I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
And Zelensky, the salesman now, every time he comes to America, he walks away with some money.
Billies. He walks away with billies. This time, he's walking away with nothing.
The United States, not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
I think this is the first time. This is like going to be an odd visit for Zelenskyy in recent times, because he has always been getting something every time he
comes. Time he visits.
Like,
but this time around,
nah.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
he got kicked out because of his disrespectfulness.
I said, that's the door right there. Being disrespectful.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
Yeah.
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
First of all, I can't even get over the fact that he always comes around dressing all casual and shit.
Second question for President Zelenskyy. Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office and you refuse to wear a suit, just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I don't
the
have
dignity of
such.
this office.
I will wear costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah.
Like, you're coming to see a head of state or a president of a country, and you're dressing all casual.
Well, he did that with the past administration, and he stupidly thinks that it's going to work for this administration as well.
Like, the president is dressing to impress to see you, and you're coming out like, I can just wake up in my jeans and shorts and just come and see you.
Yeah,
Like,
the audacity, because he has always got what he wanted. So he felt like, I guess this current government is going to be the same as the past government. And that was where Zelenskyy miscalculated.
Zelenskyy ski away.
Thank you once. This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of
you're
America
speaking about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can.
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
Trump just told him, hey, it's either you're calling for a ceasefire today.
Hey, if you're supposed to be a good leader for your own country, that's what you would be bargaining for.
Like ASAP, a ceasefire first. Then you can now talk about the.
You see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low
Brad.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
Brad.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to this Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
Additional, you have to get somewhere first before you now demand for security or guarantee of security. You already have guarantee of security by the amount of money that's been poured to your country or to your efforts or to your cause of to defend your land.
He went and gave the American money to the Europe now.
Crazy.
The idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia would have paid for that.
If you
This is my
believe
wish.
that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President.
If they get their money back, we don't.
Hi. Zelensky. This guy just keeps coming to ski, but this time.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff.
And hey, the bargaining of the materials now, rare minerals now, is more than, I guess, I don't want to say fair deal.
Like, shit.
This is America being generous.
Like, at least there has to be some type of way.
Something has to give.
Like, there has to be a way I get my money back. Like, is it charity right now to now? Like, all of this, there has to be we have to walk around a way for me to get my money back. That's what Trump is saying. Like, somehow you have to pay. And getting that deal, which America is still going to invest in when it comes to the infrastructure to enable them to get those rare minerals.
Not just
for Ukraine.
It is a win-win. It's like I don't want to say
like you're a war-torn country right now.
Yeah.
And you need help when it comes to even getting.
They should be grateful for America lending extra hand.
It's crazy. But the way Zelensky came out today, I don't think he did good.
He was very disrespectful.
I don't think he did good.
And hey, some dealings were not meant for Americans to hear. Some could have been done in the back end. At least the only thing we should be hearing is, hey, some sort of peace agreement
has been reached. Like, at least there's peace. There's no more war. Everybody can go back to living life normal. Like, a whole lot of people have been affected. Just imagine people that have businesses in this neighborhood, because Russia and Ukraine are neighboring countries.
It's not just that.
Imagine those people that have businesses. They can't even go due to the war and all of that.
Not even neighboring countries now in terms of the two countries that are fighting each other. Global in terms of logistics too.
Crazy. A whole lot of properties has been lost. I think it's high time Zelensky just come back and sign a deal for a ceasefire.
Oh no, he's not coming back.
Like, the disrespect.
The disrespect was too much.
It's crazy.
And Americans, they've washed their hands of Ukraine.
Like, this is crazy.
As they should.
But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out.
I don't know who advised Zelensky for this meeting, but it looks like he just took his own.
I guess some people can be grateful for the, I guess, easy money that they get. They feel it's like an entitlement.
It's crazy.
And it's not.
You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
You equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Like, I'm entitled to this money. Like the way he was saying it, it's like, You voted for him. Like, you voted for Biden.
So, hey, you voted for a weak president. So, hey, I guess he's a little bit less weaker than the weak president now. So he's going to take advantage of that.
Crazy.
The less weaker president.
Aye. This is a poor showing for Zelensky. Disappointing.
Very disappointing.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong.
Being disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
Making hand and eye gestures around the
childish.
president. Like, you don't do that. Like,
unruly.
Unruly. How can you be
How can an unruly person be the president of a country? That's weak.
You think this is a joke? You're sitting down in the White House and you're playing. Do you know how many presidents would love to sit down in the White House and have a conversation with
That
you?
means Zelensky doesn't even love Ukraine. Yes,
Like,
I said it.
It's crazy.
He doesn't love his country.
Like, how can you play like that? You travel all that long to come out to the White House and display that kind of nonsense way of negotiation. This is not.
But my own thing is, you come into a negotiation and you actually have nothing to offer. You overplayed your hands, even right before the negotiation, and you still feel like you're still entitled.
We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelensky, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up a strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death. 2,000 people died this week. Soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting.
Zelensky feeling entitled. Ski. Yo.
At the end of the day,
sad.
I don't want to say I blame the Americans, but
sad. It's like Trump said it. We've created this. We empowered you, and this is how.
That's what it is. You went as far as going away from your continent now to another continent now to empower a weak country.
Crazy.
And then the weak country now feels like he's entitled over you.
Crazy. Like, it's your right to help me.
The nerve of him coming. I don't want to jump the gun because we saw his, I guess, after the meeting's interview at Fox.
Yeah.
Very thankful to to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support. And I was always very thankful from all our people. You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale invasion. You helped us to survive. Anyway, we are strategic partners. And even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest and we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's for us very necessary to President Trump, and I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war, we are in this battle for freedom for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin. And I heard from President Trump a lot of times that he will stop the war, and I hope he will, and we need to pressure him with Europe, with all the partners. And I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are.
At Fox, of him coming saying that Ukraine could be the capital or something of NATO. Really?
Leaving the White House today, President Trump said this.
He's looking to go on and fight. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that.
What do you make of that? Do you want to continue fighting? Do you want peace? And if he had the opportunity to go back to the White House right now, would you do it?
No. First of all, we want peace. That's why I'm in the United States. That's why I visited President Trump. And thanks for invitation again. The deal on minerals is the first step to security guarantees. It's meant for the peace, closer to peace. That's why I'm here. And we have tough situation. To understand it is to be in Ukraine. You saw it, Brad. You was once. Thank you again. So I think that's very important to understand what's going on. But I respect my soldiers and our people, our civilians who work and support our warriors. I can't say just stop. Nobody will stop, because everybody afraid that Putin will come back tomorrow. We want just and lasting peace. It's true. We want security guarantees. We raised this topic about NATO the quickest way, but not all the countries are on this side. I said, okay, if not NATO, nobody is pushing. If not NATO, let's build NATO in Ukraine. That's my position. Europeans are ready to have contingents on our territory, boots on the ground. United States thinks maybe to help, maybe USA backstop, have to be just to guarantee that they are with Europeans.
Like, you're not even, the part of the deal is that you'll never be in NATO.
The only reason why he's trying to get into this war was to join NATO in the first place. And then now, you took the American money, gave it to the Europeans.
Crazy.
And thinking that the Europeans are going to support you and kick out the Americans. America is NATO.
Facts.
We wanted to have a little bit of what the European nations said. You know, they get their money back by giving money. We don't get the money back. Biden made a deal. He put in $350 billion. And I thought it was a very unfair situation.
We're not getting all of ours. I mean, quite a bit of ours was gifted. It was given. There were some loans, but mainly it was gifted, actually.
Mr. President, the Europeans want Ukraine to be part of NATO as part of this deal. Are you willing to budge on that at all, or is it a firm?
Well, I could be very nice and say, oh, well, we'll work to it. Look, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's what started this whole thing. Biden said that, and all of a sudden the gun started. That was one of the primary reasons this started. And this was long before President Putin. They never said it was an impossibility. So we can say, oh, gee, well, we'll try. But that's something that's just not going to happen.
Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Zelenskyy, yo, this is disappointing for, like, I wonder how the Ukrainian people are feeling right now. Seeing this
It
happen.
looks like their country is about to poof.
Oh my God. That ain't no joke.
Hey, the country that is supporting you now, you don't beat the hand that fed you.
Man, you not just beat the hand, you chop
Swallowed up.
Swallow up. What are you trying to do? Like, I've given you so much, and I'm telling you right now, it's time for us to call for peace. And you're telling me, man, shit.
The ungrateful adopted son.
You're telling me you have to guarantee me that you will give me more. Like, give you more what? We're ending the war. There's not going to be any need for fighting anymore. They're talking about let's guarantee you security.
Hey, at the end of the day, hey, America has washed their hands off of Ukraine,
Man.
as they should. We move.
Crazy. That is the whole debacle between Zelenskyy coming down to the White House, and it didn't go well. He got kicked out.
And the VP now, I'm beginning to like the VP.
Man.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all,
Not just like this is an active VP. Like they have a good combination. They have a good combination going. JD is straight to the point.
And then, hey, the VP ended up kicking Zelensky's ass now.
That's what I'm saying. It was like straight to the point. Like he didn't need to say too much. He went straight to the point. And that was where Zelenskyy started going crazy. I don't know if he started having emotional, but I feel like...
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it was a VP that whooped his ass.
Crazy. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how this whole deal is going to go right now, but we'll see and we observe. You know, it's JEJE Vibe.
Oh, JEJE.
If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. See you in the next one.
We're out of here now.
JEJE Vibe.
It's JEJE Vibe.
You know it's JEJE Vibe.
Oh, JEJE.
You're D5. Like D5.
It's JEJE Vibe.
That's D5.
Vladimir Vladimirovich, we just observed your meeting on rare earth metals. Excuse me, but I think that right now all journalists around the world are interested in rare earth metals, but from a somewhat different angle. After all, the United States, to put it very mildly, is strongly urging Zelenskyy to sign an agreement with them regarding these resources as payment for the aid provided to Ukraine by the previous administration, the Biden administration. How do you assess the prospects of such an agreement?
That doesn't concern us. I don't assess it in any way and don't even want to think about the topic. Of course, it would be necessary to evaluate those resources, how real they are, how much of them there are, what their value is, and so on. But I repeat, that's not our business. Our business is what we just discussed at the meeting. Rare and rare earth metals are a very important component, very important resources for modern industries. We're still doing little in this direction and need to do more. The purpose of today's meeting was to focus, at the initial stage, the administrative resources on working in this area. By the way, we would even be ready to offer cooperation to our American partners. When I say partners, I mean not only administrative and governmental structures, but also companies, if they showed interest in joint work. We undoubtedly have, and I want to emphasize this, significantly more resources of this kind than Ukraine. Russia is one of the undisputed leaders in reserves of these rare and rare earth metals. We have them in the north, in Murmansk, in the Caucasus, in Kabardino-Balkaria, in the Far East, in the Irkutsk region, in Yakutia, and in Tuva. These are quite capital-intensive investments, capital-intensive projects. We would be glad to work jointly with any foreign partners, including American ones. Yes, by the way, regarding the new territories, it's the same. We are ready to attract foreign partners there as well. In the so-called new historical territories that have returned to the Russian Federation, there are also certain reserves. We are ready to work there with our foreign partners, including American ones.
In the new regions as well?
Yes, of course.
These days, we are seeing a barrage of statements and discussions, and everyone is talking about Trump, why he is speaking so harshly, saying that Zelenskyy must hold elections and that his approval rating is 4%. Europeans are strongly criticizing Trump for all these remarks. And now opinions are already emerging that the current approach of the U.S. president is actually playing into Russia's hands. What do you think? Is that really the case?
I believe that is absolutely not the case. I have my own point of view on this matter, and it is the opposite of what you just expressed. The fact is that the current head of the Kiev regime is becoming a toxic figure for the Ukrainian armed forces because he gives absurd orders driven not by military considerations, but by political motives, which are unclear in their reasoning. This leads to unjustifiably high losses, if not very heavy, then catastrophic losses for the Ukrainian army. He is also becoming toxic for society as a whole, and I believe the recent vote in the Rada to extend his powers reflects this. Finally, he has cornered himself with the decree banning negotiations with the Russian Federation on a peace agreement, effectively halting those negotiations. And what's the issue here? The issue is that he is avoiding those negotiations. Why? Because if negotiations were to begin sooner or later, and most likely quite quickly, it would lead to the need to lift martial law. And as soon as that happens, elections must be held immediately. There would no longer be any grounds for not holding elections, as the current justification for not conducting elections in Ukraine is the presence of martial law. But if negotiations take place, followed by the likely quick necessity of lifting martial law, elections would have to be held right away. And that's where the current head of the regime faces a problem. Because, in reality, it doesn't matter whether his approval rating is 4% or something else. What matters is something else. According to our data, which are objective, his rating is exactly half that of his closest potential political rival. That would be Mr. Zelenskyy, the former commander of the Ukrainian armed forces, who was sent off to London. His approval rating is exactly twice as high. And if we also consider the potential support this possible candidate might receive from other political figures, including former prime ministers or former presidents, the current head of the regime has absolutely no chance of winning the election. his chances are zero, unless, of course, there is some blatant manipulation, but even that would be bad for him, as it would be far too obvious. Therefore, he is a destabilizing factor for the army, society, and the state. And the current U.S. President, Trump, surely understands this and is pushing him toward elections. What does he want to achieve, as I see it? He wants to improve the situation, the political climate in Ukraine, consolidate society, and create conditions for the survival of the Ukrainian state. And overall, this is not so much beneficial for Russia. We are, after all, in conflict with the current regime, but rather beneficial for Ukraine itself. Moreover, the current U.S. president has stated that he wants to achieve peace, as, by the way, do we, and as soon as possible. But the current head of the regime stands in the way of achieving that goal. That, as I see it, is the reason behind the U.S. president's position. It is not about serving Russia's interests. It is more likely aimed at serving the interests of Ukraine and preserving Ukrainian statehood. And we have no objections to that. Although, of course, we would prefer that this territory not be used as a staging ground for attacks on the Russian Federation, not be used as a hostile platform against us, but ultimately become a friendly neighboring state.